Uncluttered and Unfiltered is supported by Hearts for Minds. Looking to cut back on alcohol? Dry July is the perfect opportunity to reduce or entirely remove alcohol and experience improved sleep, lower stress, and a mental health boost. This Dry July, prioritize your well-being with Hearts for Minds Mocktails with Meaning free ebook featuring delicious mocktails from top restaurant mixologists. Discover a world of non-alcoholic options for home, poolside, or dining out. Join the movement. Raise a glass to mental wellness and support Hearts for Minds. Find the Mocktails with Meaning ebook at heartsforminds.org.
Welcome to Uncluttered and Unfiltered, the podcast urging you to let it go and don't look back. With nationally acclaimed professional organizer Christine Stone and self-proclaimed hot damn mess radio and TV personality Eden Kendall.
Welcome, everybody, to Uncluttered and Unfiltered. You got the shivers, I just noticed. You just did the whole shiver. Christine is very excited. I'm very excited as well. We've been teasing this mystery guest that we're having on today's podcast. If you have been listening to us from the beginning, on more than one occasion, we've talked about a celebrity that when you finally met this person, you were speechless. More on that. You'll hear that story a couple more times during this podcast. But like I said, if you've been around us for a while, then you already know. If you're new, welcome. Yes, we're so glad you're here. Sometimes we talk about organization. Sometimes we talk about things that have nothing to do with organization. This is one of those days. But this, I think everyone can relate to having a crush when they were younger.
Yes.
And Donny Osmond was both of our biggest crushes back in the day. So for those who are maybe on the early edges of 50, they may not be so familiar. So and bear with us if this is, you're a little too young to have appreciated this, or you just never liked the guy. Maybe just entertain us for this one episode, because we are going to be speaking to him, and Christine is going to redeem herself for the time so many years ago that she couldn't get a word out.
Yes.
So that's coming up. But should we do a little research, a little history lesson on the Osmonds and Donny Osmond?
Yes. So I found it fascinating that in 1971, when One Bad Apple.
Wait, let's listen to a little bit of One Bad Apple, okay? Just a little bit of it.
One bad apple don't spoil the whole bunch, girl.
Okay, legally, that's all we can give you. That's all we can do for legal reasons.
So I was 9, but you were 5. And
right.
Isn't that weird when you're older? Time like that doesn't matter at all. But when you're young, I was in the height of the Donny Osmond teen idol craziness.
So that was their first pop hit ever. I'll tell you, I didn't know that song when it was a hit. I knew it when it was the theme to their cartoon on Saturday mornings. So that's why, even though that song brings back a lot of memories, it's not for the same reasons. They used that as a theme song when they had a little cartoon for a minute.
No, I was fully invested.
Oh, yeah. By then you were done.
I had wall-to-wall Donny Osmond posters. My favorite color was purple. I was fully invested.
Okay, when you say his fan club, let's talk about what that entails, because obviously it's different now. But that means you probably you wrote a letter and joined something, right?
I wrote a letter and joined something, and then I wrote the letter on how I wanted to marry him and we would be a great couple. And then you get this form letter back, although at 9 you think he wrote to you.
Of course.
Until
let's ask him about that when we talk to him.
Yes.
He remembers your letter.
Yeah. You remember my letter. So I was really totally involved in loving everything about actually the Osmond brothers as well as Donny Osmond. And then he went off on his own.
Oh, Lord.
And that was all she wrote.
And that was the album. And I had that. Was that the album that had this song on it?
'Cause you're too sweet and innocent.
Sweet and innocent.
Sweet and innocent.
In Puppy Love. And they were all on the same mountain. So we know how that catapulted him to superstardom.
Yes.
And so my friend's mother got us concert tickets. And I've told this story if you go back to episode 1. And I was beyond excited. I can't even explain to you. And I came home and I told my parents that I was going with my friend Julie to the Donny Osmond concert. And they asked when it was. And I told them the date. And they said, you won't be here. You'll be staying at your grandparents' for 3 weeks during that time. And of course, being all of 10, I think by then, going to the room, slamming the door, crying my eyes out.
Sure.
Waiting with bated breath on the one phone they had upstairs at my grandmother's to hear every detail of the concert, what he wore, what she wore, how I wanted to know everything.
Stop for a minute. Let's call 10-year-old Christine on the phone and tell her that today you're going to speak to Donny Osmond. Real quick, let's just call her. Hello, 10-year-old Christine. Guess what's going to happen to you when you're 61? You wouldn't believe it, right?
I would not have believed it. Everyone says, what's on your bucket list? That was my number one
Sure.
after I couldn't go to that concert.
Yeah.
Meet him one day. And then for a while, he disappeared on his own just for a while, took a break. And then when he came back with Soldier of Love, I literally immediately, I didn't think any.
Before that was Donny and Marie.
Yeah.
The Donny and Marie Show.
I wasn't as much
You know?
Donny and Marie Show.
So that's where I come in.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where I was like all in. I remember being at the mall and having to get home because if you miss it, you don't get to have someone for you or get it on the VHS. Not at all. You either saw that episode or you didn't. And I remember that first episode getting home and they were on ice skates.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a medley they would do every episode where she would say, I'm a little bit country. Right. And he'd say, I'm a little bit rock and roll. Yeah. And then they would do some songs from each genre. I'm a little bit country. I'm a little bit rock and roll. So there's that, and all the guest stars. You had Cher and you had all the different guest stars. Fast forward, now we're in the 80s, and now it's Soldier of Love.
They kept playing Soldier of Love, but they wouldn't tell you who it was. And I kept screaming into the radio, it's Donny Osmond.
Right.
I didn't want to be known as Donny Osmond at that time. So they released the record without saying who it
to see how it would do without that stigma.
It, of course, went high up on the charts. And then they finally said it's Donny Osmond. I'm like, hello, I've been saying that. So then in my mind, immediately, I thought, there is really a chance one day I'm going to get to go to an Donny Osmond.
Because he's back. Right.
He's back. Time goes by. I'm busy being a mom, raising 2 kids. Like it was always in the back of my mind, but I forgot about it. And then they announced their residency in Las Vegas.
So before that, there was the whole Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, which they also had a movie version of the play where you got to see him in just the open coat with no shirt. And that was a different thing for him because you didn't see that. That was a different, whole other thing. So then we heard that he got stage fright or he had some emotional issues. So for sure by now you're like, it's over. There's no chance. Then comes the residency.
And it literally fell like, I would say 6 months before my 50th birthday. And my husband, who I didn't even want to say, do you want to go see Donny and Marie in Las Vegas? Because I thought he would be like, are you kidding me? He surprised me and got the meet and greet for the Donny and Marie show in Vegas. And literally, to say I was excited, I can't even tell you. I had to pick out what I was wearing. I had to bring my Donny Osmond album original on the plane in the overhead compartment because I didn't want it to get lost or stolen. I really thought someone would steal it. And then we get there, and all I could think about, he has nice dinners because the concert wasn't until the next night or something. And all I could think about is, oh my God, I'm going to meet Donny Osmond. Oh my God, I'm going to meet Donny Osmond.
Because it's a full VIP.
Yes. And we get there, and it's an old-fashioned Rat Pack situation with round tables, and everyone's sitting around them. And we walk up and literally we are front row. And
Because he doesn't play. Mitch doesn't play.
yeah, he wanted this to be like perfect. But then that minute forward, I was in shock. I couldn't, like the ladies next to me kept going, is this her first time? And he's, yeah, why? And, oh, all first timers are like this. She'll be fine. And then when the curtain went up and the music started and he looks over and says, are you crying? And I was just like, I couldn't explain it. And then he grabs my original Donny Osmond album, brings it up on the stage, starts reading off the back, and then goes into Puppy Love. Forget it.
Wait, let's play a little bit of that.
And they called it Puppy Love.
Of course, he doesn't sound like that anymore.
No, I was shocked. He sounded really good.
He sounds amazing. I'm saying he does have a child's
all
voice.
this memorabilia behind the thing up for the show that's when they were younger. And I just, the whole time, I'm like, this is great. And then after, I said, I want to leave now. He said, oh, no, we're going to the meet and greet. I said, I can't. I really can't. I want to just go back to the hotel. And my husband likes to do a little gambling. I said, we'll gamble. Try to think that would side. No, I paid for the meet and greet. You're going. I'm in line. He's pushing me. And I'm like, letting people go ahead of me. Go ahead. He stopped doing that. You're going to meet him. We get up there and I could not speak, could not say one.
And it's both Donny and Marie, right?
She was like further down. So first you meet him, then you.
Oh, okay.
And he started talking for me.
Mitch did.
Yeah. I literally didn't say one word. And he goes, oh, she loves you so much. And I'm like nodding my head. And my kids know all your songs because she plays them all the time on satellite radio. They play it on the 70s station. I'm like, she was your biggest fan in the 70s.
Like, nod.
Afterwards, the next night, you know how you wake up in the morning and go, I can't believe I behaved that way. I can't believe I didn't say anything to the one person I've waited my whole life to meet. I couldn't believe it. But then I said, it's over. I went. It was amazing. The show was amazing. Everything. And that was going to be the end of it until now.
So I'll just drop in my little bitty piece because I too, and this is so funny, you guys, this is back before we knew each other, but we weren't friends like we are now. And we certainly didn't know this about each other. But for one of my birthdays, on my actual birthday, Donny and Marie came to the St. Augustine Amphitheater, which is a theater here in North Florida. It was literally my birthday. So my husband had no choice but to go with me. And we brought another couple with us. It's two women we know. They're married. And they both also loved Donny Osmond back in the day. So you've got we three women and Steve, and he's just rolling his eyes, but enjoying watching all of us, getting this huge kick out of everything. So it was a blast, absolutely a blast. Really great show. I didn't carry with me that burning desire to, I have to see him again. I have to see him again until you and I you reignited in me that passion. Plus the music gives me such goosebumps because it gave me that it gives you the same feeling music always does. The same feeling I had when I heard it for the very first time. And so I started to run with it. I would go to the Pandora Donny Osmond station and there was a half marathon. It went by your house. And that's what I chose to listen to was the Osmond station because I knew it would keep me going and make me feel bubblegummy and all happy and upbeat. And so I remember passing you yelling, I'm listening to the Osmonds.
Think about it. And anybody out there, if you're listening to the 70s station and One Bad Apple comes on,
oh, how can you not be?
Immediately, your brain goes back to that younger place.
Yes.
The smile comes on your face. It was like a more innocent time.
Sure.
A time that you just were so young and impressionable. You know what I mean? Everything was exciting and new. And I don't know. I think whether it's David Cassidy, Bobby Sherman, Justin Bieber, I don't care who it is, when it's a teen idol, it brings you back to that space.
And those feelings that you could all of a sudden understand why these women cried when they would see the Beatles. That feeling of, I love him so much and I'll never be his wife. Yes. I just love him so much.
Yeah.
It's just it's a crazy kind of adulation that you don't have for anyone else.
No.
Or the adoration of just you idolize them. It's crazy. So at what point should we just dive right into this interview that we had? We should explain it a little bit. Yes. First of all, he's on tour.
Yes.
Donny Osmond is on tour. This time without Marie. He is coming to North Florida and probably somewhere near you. Because we reach so many women who are obviously going to be within that age group, we were able to secure an interview with him. I'm going to tell you that I canceled or postponed a trip to see family. I was supposed to go on a Wednesday, and the only day he could do was a Thursday. So I switched my flight to fly out that night so that I wouldn't miss this. And you kept saying, don't do that, don't do that. And I'm like, I'm not doing this for you. I was, and I wasn't, because I absolutely did not want to miss this for everybody, because this is your redemption.
Yeah.
This was your chance. So I met
my moment.
I met you. Take a listen. I met Chris in the parking lot. We did this at the radio station where I do a morning show. And I came down to the parking lot, listened to this audio of how excited she was. How do you feel?
I'm nervous. I'm so nervous. I've been doing deep breathing, and I feel like I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
Get through it.
All right. This is your redemption. You realize this is your redemption. Okay, let's go in.
Okay.
All right, so we finally get upstairs. We're in place. He's supposed to call at an exact time. We have exactly a certain amount of time with him, and the phone doesn't ring. And we're looking at each other. Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
Not only is there that incredible fear of what if something goes wrong and he can't call us, it took so long to get this interview scheduled. We only have, I think it was 9 minutes. And then finally the phone rings. And it was such a relief.
Yeah. For me, remember, I said to you, oh, he's not calling because I'm so nervous again.
Yes.
That I started to sweat profusely. And I'm like, he's not calling Eden. Let's just go.
Which, by the way, you can watch the video of all of this on our Patreon page. We're going to post the video of this too, not just the audio, but the video where you can see her smile
is
so big.
My cheeks hurt for days.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, he's one of the nicest people.
So nice.
Honestly, he was so sweet. Very sweet.
All right. So with no further ado, here is that interview.
Hi, I'm sorry I'm a little late. The last interview ran a little long.
We are so excited to talk to you.
Great to talk to you as well. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great. So first of all, let me introduce ourselves. I'm Eden, and Christine is with me. Christine is a talk show host, a TV host. She does public speaking. And yet when she turned 50, 11 years ago, her husband brought her to Las Vegas. She stood in front of you because they purchased the VIP package. She could not speak. Donny, welcome to Christine's redemption.
Hi, Donny. I'm so excited to talk to you.
It's nice to talk to you too. So you saw the Vegas show?
I did. My husband bought meet and greet tickets. We had front row. And the minute I sat down, I never said another word the rest of the night. And the nicest people around me kept saying, it's okay. Is this her first? And my husband said, yeah. And she goes, everyone acts like that. She'll get used to it. Because everybody had been to the concert so many times and they called me a newbie. And I just was frozen. I couldn't say a word. I was overwhelmed. And then you took my original Donny Osmond album and brought it up stage. And that was it for the rest of the night. That was it.
That's cool.
So cool. What is it like to have fans like us that are women 50 plus who can't speak when they meet you?
Well, thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. It's a very nice compliment. It's quite interesting. I don't know if you recognize this, Christine, when you were there, but a lot of the times you'll see younger people come to the audience. They have no idea who Marie is. They just know me from Joseph. They don't know the Osmond brothers. They don't know One Bad Apple, Puppy Love. No. In fact, I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks ago, I had these two little brothers. They were age 9 and 12, and they had on these T-shirts that just said Peacock. All they knew was me from The Masked Singer, because I was the very first Masked Singer as a peacock. They just wanted to see the peacock on stage. And I was doing the rest of my career. They had no idea about all the other songs that I had recorded. And do you remember the song that we did from Mulan? Let's get down to business. Do you remember that one?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. So the dancing in that is pretty darn cool. And what I see from the stage is quite interesting, because every once in a while I'll see somebody say, "That was you?" They had no idea it was Captain Shang in Mulan. And when I start singing that song, it's kind of like they had no idea I was Captain Shang.
Donny, when you did the Disney sing-along with your grandkids, that was so adorable. Nobody knew watching that all of those kids, those talented kids singing with you were your grandkids until at the end when they all said, "Bye, Papa. We love you, Grandpa."
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah, that was a fun moment.
Well, we know that we have what's called a hard out with you, and that we didn't get started until a little bit later. But I do want to ask you something. Are you out there playing with bees on a regular basis? Because we noticed you're in your garden quite a bit.
Well, I guess you saw that on my social media. I've planted a fruit tree for every grandchild, and I have a huge garden, and then that's the way I get away from the rigors of show business. And you saw the show; you know how hard I work on stage. So it's my escape. So yeah, bees are just one of the many things in my garden.
Well, we love also the little plaques for each grandchild's name on the trees as well.
Oh yeah,
Donny,
you know it all.
We would love to be greedy and keep you longer.
I don't have another interview for another 20 minutes, so I'm good.
Okay, as long as you're okay with that, we want to hear about the show.
I'm good. Well, it's as Christine will probably attest to, it's variety on steroids. I mean, it's 60 years of show business in one show. And oh, by the way, Christine, did you like the rap?
I liked every single thing you did. Everything.
I saw the show too, by the way, but I saw it here.
She saw it here.
Oh,
but
you saw it too? Oh,
I
okay.
did. You're going to have to add to that rap now.
Yes, we were just talking about that. We have to add some things because I'm now going back to doing Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, but as the Pharaoh.
Oh,
That's going to
wow.
happen in December. Yeah, Andrew Lloyd Webber called me up and said, "Hey, would you be interested in playing the Pharaoh?" I said, "Book it. Let's do it. Let's go." So right after this huge tour, and yours is when I'm actually going to be in Hollywood, Tampa, Melbourne, and Jacksonville.
Right.
Right after that, I go back to Vegas until November, and then I go to Edinburgh, Scotland, to do Joseph as the Pharaoh. And then I take about 2 weeks off, and then I'm right back to Vegas. So, and you guys, I got to just say, I shouldn't be even saying this because my manager would kill me. I am adding something to the show that you guys have seen that I can't really mention yet, but when you find out, I'll be launching it. I'm not sure exactly, maybe the end of this year or first of next year. You're going to freak out when you hear what I'm adding to the show.
I can't
What
imagine
could it possibly be?
I can't even say a word, but when you hear about it, you're going to say, "I got to go back and see this. This is crazy."
Well, I want to know, where do you get the energy?
Yeah, where do you
get the energy? I'm 61. I can't imagine doing everything you do and not collapsing.
Well, I do collapse. But no, I love what I do. Yeah, I do enjoy getting on stage. What's difficult is getting to the theater and getting ready. But as soon as that curtain goes up, as soon as the music starts and the lights turn on, and you feel that synergy from the audience, it doesn't matter how tired you are. It doesn't matter how long the road has been. It doesn't matter what you've done during the day. There's just something about the magic of show business, and you guys experienced it when you saw the show. It's a lot of fun, a lot of work, but it is such a journey every night.
Do you do a lot of vocal exercises? Because it's one thing to dance the way you do, but your voice is pristine. It's still the same or better.
Every day. I mean, it's like going to the gym. Every single day, you do warm-ups and cool-downs. A lot of singers make a mistake that after a show, they don't do a cool-down. But you got to really take care of your instrument. And I've lost it 2 times in my life. I had to have surgeries and all kinds of stuff, but from overworking.
Mhm.
But now I really, really protect my instrument because that's what I do. I'm a singer.
Do you get sore
Yeah,
the
well-
next day? How do you recover?
I'm actually very, very health conscious. I eat a lot of Haagen-Dazs chocolate chip ice cream.
Same.
That's the secret. That's the secret.
How about ice baths? Have you tried an ice bath?
You know, I have in the past, but there's one problem with ice baths.
They're cold.
They're too cold. They're
Yeah.
cold. Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed that myself. I'm not good about it. So Christine has a really important question for you, and then we are going to let you go so you can get a sip of water and have a break before you
Okay.
call your next
You go
host.
have an ice bath.
I want to know where all my letters, who answered them in 1971 that I wrote you professing my dying love and that I was going to marry you. And I got a reply and I showed my mother and she was like, he didn't write that. And I said, yes, he did. Of
course he did.
He did write that. So
I did write it.
Of course he did. So how did she do, Donny? Is she redeemed?
But yeah, she's redeemed. Absolutely.
well, I
Yeah.
can't wait to see you in July.
Yes,
I'm looking really, really forward to it.
We have the VIP. We have the
we're
VIP
ready.
meet and greet deal and everything.
Oh, perfect.
So we
Well,
can't
just let me
wait.
know which show are you coming to,
Jacksonville, Florida Theater. It's haunted.
Jackson. Okay.
It's haunted.
Yeah, it's a beautiful theater. You're going to love it. So we will see you
Yes,
when you're in.
I've been looking at pictures of all the theaters I'm going to. This is going to be the most amazing tour. Yes, it's a lot of 46 cities in just a little over 2 months. And like I said, yours is going to be, we're saving the best till last. So you're close to the end of the tour. So tell all your listeners you can find all of the information on Donny.com.
Yes, we have a global audience, and they're mostly women 50 plus, even though we know you have a fan base that is multi-generational. We will let everybody know exactly where to find it, and everybody is going to be able to easily access that. So because we're going to have a big conversation online with everybody who went to the show too.
Yes.
Thank you for your time. Safe travels.
My pleasure, guys. Great talking with you. And I'll see you in Jacksonville.
Now, as if that wasn't exciting enough that we got a chance to talk to Donny about his tour, we have something else that's very exciting. Now, this isn't going to be great news for everybody, but a number of you would travel at least a few hours. So if you are able to travel and see Donny Osmond here in Jacksonville, Florida on July 27th, it's a Saturday, we have a pair of tickets that you can win on our Uncluttered and Unfiltered Instagram. So if you go over to our Uncluttered and Unfiltered Instagram, we do have a pair of tickets that we are going to give away to somebody. Like I said, if you're not in this area, you would have to do some traveling, but we're just telling you.
Hey, I traveled to Vegas for him.
Vegas, baby.
Yeah.
Vegas, baby. Thank you, everybody, for enduring this and enjoying it with us. Let's talk for a second about that Patreon, because that's something that's new to us. And we explained, and I have to be honest with you, in my mind, I'm trying to think if the episode where we really explained it has aired yet, and I don't know that it has. But it's just basically a little portal where you can see some additional bonus content, and it's $5 a month.
And it's funny content.
It's fun. Yeah, it's funny content. It's fun.
Serious, but I think it's definitely worth seeing.
And there's a lot of behind the scenes, some organizing things as well.
Yes.
Of course, for organizing tips, you should definitely visit Christine at Neatly Designed. That's her business. That's her Instagram. There's so many tips there. But as far as my organizing experience with Chris, that's going to be on our Patreon as well. So just it's worth checking out. Like I said, it's $5 a month. And the reason we do it is because there are costs associated with putting on a podcast. And that's why. So thank you to everybody.
I have to say one thing.
Please.
I have been reading all of the face. I may not respond right away, as I'm really not that great with all social media because there's so much of it. There's TikTok, there's Instagram. Anyway, I read every bit of it. And I have to tell you guys are amazing.
Amazing.
The things you say, the questions you ask, just helping each other on this platform. I am blown away, and I do read every single thing. So just be patient because I will respond as fast as I possibly can.
Thank you guys so much. That is our ladies only page on Uncluttered and Unfiltered Ladies Only. That's on Facebook. That is one that you have to actually ask to join and get approved. Of course, we have all the other social media as well. And when you leave reviews and you do the likes and the stars and all, that helps algorithmy things that are way beyond our comprehension as nearly boomers. So we can't even begin to understand how that works, but we know it does help others to find us.
Yeah.
So any of that kind of thing that you do, if you see an opportunity to share us, to share a link, that kind of thing, that just means the world to us. And we really do love it. We've been trying to find different iterations of the let it go and don't look back saying, but for this one, I feel like you said this in other episodes we've done. With your teenage crush and those things on your bucket list you thought you'd never get to do, you don't always have to let it go. And you don't always have to not look back.
Yeah.
I don't know. How do you say it?
Yeah. I think you can look back, just let it go.
Oh, how about this? Being mad that you had to go on vacation for that initial concert.
Yes.
Those little things, those little injustices in your life that at the time seemed like they were the worst thing in the world, but they ended up being something that just made something else sweeter in the end. Yes. Those are the things that you can let go.
And don't look back.
Did you know that Uncluttered and Unfiltered is a passion project created to reach and connect a community of women over 50? Growing production and promotion costs can be a challenge, and your support means the world. When you join our Patreon bonus club, you'll have access to a ton of otherwise unavailable video content, plus commercial-free episodes and a private chat community where Christine and I will answer any questions about the upcoming series, Organizing Eden, which is really for all of us. Plus, we have a few surprises as well coming your way. For just $5 a month, you'll be helping us grow this incredible sisterhood. And if that's not possible, hey, we get it. Truly, the most incredible way you can support us is just by telling one friend about Uncluttered and Unfiltered. And thank you. We love that you're here.